This week in car audio. Tune in. What we talking about? Bass. Talking about chips. Talking about rings. You ain't got them, zip your lip. You got a problem you haven't found, check your grounds. The show about to start. Tune in. This week in car audio. Yeah. Tune in. This week in car audio.
Hey, thank you. Good to be here.
Good. How are you, Doug? How are you, Tiffany?
Hey.
Said they're not able to hear you, Doug. Yeah.
There we go. Now I'm done again. All right. I'm sharing on this real quick. Kyle, why don't you tell us about your shop and your background in the lithium stuff, please?
Okay. So I've always kind of had a passion for electrical and car audio. Um, they kind of commingle and they coexist, right? Because a lot of the things you'll need to make noise, you know, is determined based off of the potential power output, right? So it takes power to make power, and I'm the guy that helps people make power. So when the pandemic hit, is when I kind of started up EAE, and just kind of taken off from there. We offer pretty much any car audio electrical service from alternators. I'm a Brand X dealer, brackets, Blue Ghost brackets, wiring, pretty much anything you'll need, any advice that you need, how to wire stuff, how to properly ground. I'm kind of the go-to guy in this area. So
Okay.
Wow.
That's a good background. So supposedly I'm supposed to be able to click on something here and share, but that is not the case. So I will try again next week and see if I can't get it figured out. Tiffany, tell us a little bit about your shop, where you're at, and that kind of thing, please.
Okay. SQ Sounds in Bridgetown, Barbados. For those of you that don't know, it's a little island in the Caribbean Sea. You could pretty much tour the whole country in about 4 hours. It's that small. But yeah, we do everything car audio as well. So it's really nice to meet you, Kyle.
yeah, likewise.
We'll
Thank
be
you,
calling
Tiffany.
you for certain. Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
But we do distribution for the top competitive brands in the Caribbean, and that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Okay. So for those people that don't know, real exciting stuff. I'm kind of a geek, which a handful of people are. So, but I'm a political geek on top of stuff. Bridgetown, Barbados just became its own free independent country. In October or November?
November the 30th, yeah.
November
We
30th.
were independent, but we were still, kind of tied to the Queen, so
Yeah.
we're now a republic. Don't ask me too many details about that. I still not really sure how it works.
So it's
But we're learning as we go, yeah. So it's been exciting stuff.
Yeah, it's really cool. You know, it's a fledgling country. It's brand new. It's just starting. I mean, just open with possibilities, which is, I mean, to me, that's really awesome. I'm a big fan of history, big fan of our democracy in the United States, and it's kind of really cool to see a new country coming to be. So that's really cool. It's another thing out going on with Barbados. They are in case you guys don't know, they are the farthest east island in the Caribbean. So you can't
Yeah,
once you leave them, you're heading to Africa. So
Africa. Yep, that is absolutely correct. Um, my favorite part about the whole republic is that Rihanna is now our national hero. I know people have mixed feelings about that, but I love her. Yeah,
yeah. So
and she's our only second living national hero, so it's pretty cool.
right. So you have actually a musical person as the living national hero for your country. So that's kind of cool.
Yes,
And
it
she's
is pretty cool.
female, and yeah, we all know about
Yeah,
all
all of
that
that.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Over on the YouTube side, I see Moises. He's up there. I see Love Face, and a whole bunch of letters afterwards. Woody McDonald. We got Jimmy Hensley. We got Brett Barber. Brett Barber says we got Stephen Talbot. We got Tom Selleck. We got Nick Ball, Joseph Riney, Chris Jenner, Travis Hostetter, Spencer Stanlin, and who was it? I think it was Barber. Oh, Brandy's watching. Barber says he
Hey,
wouldn't even be into
Brandy.
car audio if it wasn't for you, Kyle.
Know about that. I'm
That's
Yeah.
just
an
a
interesting story.
facilitator. He always had the passion for it.
Yep. Oh yeah, we got Navia. That's Tiffany's daughter.
I was just saying,
Yep, I
our
saw
daughter
her.
signed in.
Yes, I see her. So anyway, so we're gonna talk about some lithium today. Um, Share with us what do you got, Kyle, and like where do we start with lithium? I mean, um, how did it come into the car audio scene?
I guess you got to kind of go back to the foundation and the widespread adaptation of lithium in car audio.
Yep.
And some of the four founders of both the commercialized products that kind of helped grow the scene, as well as like the beginning of the DIY community that's kind of helped fuel and get lithium where it is today. So there's kind of two distinct groups of people in both areas. And I could go deep into dates and names and all that stuff, but some of the real pioneers of lithium on the commercialized side were probably J.Y. Power, who created the first commercialized available lithium product with their 45 and their 80 amp hour K2 cells.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had Excess Power, who also got into the commercialized lithium game early with their Life PO4 offering too.
Yep. As a matter of fact, Excess Power, I believe that's Scotty Johnson, and he will be on the show, I think, 2 or 3 weeks from now. So he's coming up
Cool.
to talk about his products and kind of his development
And the
into it.
new warehouse.
Huh?
And the new warehouse.
New host?
That massive warehouse.
Oh, warehouse. Yes.
Warehouse.
Definitely going to talk about his warehouse and a potential World Finals location. Just saying. So anyway, so continue on, sir. Sorry.
Yeah, so the commercial side helped kind of introduce safe, viable lithium to, I guess, the car audio community, and kind of just help set the stage for people to feel more comfortable acquiring and building their own lithium out of commercially available cells, whether being from salvaged vehicles or cells that were viable in other communities like the
Alibaba.
like the guys that were building power walls or like electric scooters and even their own like homemade electric vehicles and stuff. So there's always kind of been a big community of lithium enthusiasts, but it didn't really cross over into car audio until people took the initial plunge of creating something that was viable for that market, right?
Yep.
So, a lot of the people early on had a big influence commercially because they kind of helped set the stage for kind of where we are today.
Right. Yeah, no, that definitely is more along the lines of, the idea is we first started with lithium. What was it? It was lithium and something else, and now we've gone to lithium iron phosphate. Um, I forgot what the first initial one was, but that was really unstable, and that's why we started having the BMS systems and whatnot. I know that's redundant S's systems in BMS, um, but
Right.
we added that, which for you people that don't know, BMS stands for Battery Management System. The idea behind that is it keeps your battery from overheating, overcharging, and depleting too quickly. So those are all um, individual systems, and those are proprietary to most whatever it's called, the retailers, right? Or not retailers, but manufacturers. The BMS is pretty much proprietary.
You feel like I,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
like I should be getting my note, but I'll be right back.
Okay. Hit mute.
Yeah, you could find BMSs on pretty much everything, right? Even the
Right.
the C-Max banks and stuff. When you pull them from the vehicles, they have a giant BMS that is controlling power flow between hundreds of cells, right? So
Yep.
these BMSs are serious business.
Okay. So we started off with just basically cells. So I think in my understanding is we started off with the with like back cap, right? In which it looked like C cell batteries.
Mhm.
We started putting those together. Those weren't lithium, but it
Right.
was a step between gel cell and lithium.
Yeah, capacitors are kind of similar to lithium in some ways, but also very dissimilar in other ways.
Hmm.
You could find capacitors in pretty much every electronic device made since probably the 40s or 50s. But the purpose of the capacitor is more of a buffer rather than a storage device like a lithium battery would be. So a lithium kind of bridges the gap even more between something that has energy storage and something that can discharge energy rapidly like a capacitor.
Okay. Tiffany, chime in if you get any questions or you're curious on your end, right? So also with
Yeah, I'm actually.
okay, actually another thing too is so we had these D cell batteries, right? So you put them together, whatnot, um, and then we had some people DIYing, and when we were DIYing those lithium batteries, people weren't doing them correctly. And we had some major problems with fires and whatnot because not only do you have to with the lithium, you have to compress it, so it has to be held within a space. You can't just willy nilly throw some lithium cells out there and just wire them together and just let them roll around your car, right?
Yeah, some sorry, my son just walked in. Uh, yeah, some chemistries are a lot more abuse tolerant, but some are a lot more archaic in the sense where, hey, turn the light on, please. Sorry. Jeez. Where they require compression because as temperatures or whatever happens and the contents within them expand, things could happen, right? So yeah, there's lots of different types of batteries out there. Some are more volatile than others in that sense, but yeah, it's pretty scary when you're dealing with volatile cells that require compression and you're not compressing them. You're literally playing with fire.
Yes, sir. You have you seen any questions yet in the
And that need
comment?
a special extinguisher.
Yes. So ask him that question, Tiffany, about that.
How would you put out those fires? Just in
Um,
case. Asking for a friend or two.
uh, so I prefer dumping gasoline on them because insurance pays pretty well. No, but I think a standard ABC fire extinguisher will get the job done because it's not an electric fire like a lot of people think.
It's a chemical
Um,
fire.
yeah, yeah. So I think ABC covers chemical fires.
Hmm.
That's what I have. I mean, I don't keep it in my truck, but I mean,
Shame on you.
don't tell my insurance company.
So, so essentially, these are just a group of cells. You wire them together with tin leads, right? Is that what you use,
um,
or?
so it depends. Most of the busing for I guess commercially available cells is probably going to be bussed together with some kind of aluminum stock. There's a lot of different manufacturers, like all the big metalworks guys, like Project DB, Toolmaker, Il Customs. They all offer different types of busing for all these different commercially available cells, and the ones that aren't as popular, you can try to either utilize the stock busing or make your own busing. But again, for things that require high amounts of tolerance and compression and stuff, it's probably best to kind of leave it to the professionals in that regard.
Okay. So with that being said, what is a common how do they rate the lithium cells?
So I guess like from like amp hours or amp hours, right? So
Hmm.
you can measure amp hours by how 1 amp for how many hours until 0% uh, capacity, right? But things like voltage and you know uh, C rating and how much total capacity that you have all vary within the types of cells that you have. So if you have, let's say, a 4-volt cell, 4 4-volt cells in series will get you 16 volt. But when you're going up in series, you're not increasing your capacity, you're only increasing the voltage. So in order to get the correct voltage and the correct amount of capacity that you need both series and parallel cells. So it's really the same way that AGMs and pretty much all batteries have been made for the last 100 years. You have different cells in series to get the desired voltages that you want. That's really the difference between 6-volt 12-volt batteries. For like solar, EV, it's all the same general idea, just within a different package, right?
Right. So Tiffany, I see a question here from your husband. Did you see that? Catch that
Oh,
question at all?
is he on YouTube or Facebook?
It says
I'm
on
looking at
YouTube.
Facebook.
Oh, it says on YouTube. Okay,
Okay,
I'll
yes,
hit
I
it
don't
up.
see it.
So Tiffany's husband, Tristan, he says, "Hey Kyle, what's the advantage? What advantage does lithium have above AGM?"
Um, well, the biggest is going to be the amount of power that you can fit into a footprint, both in both size, you know, like physical size, and then also weight.
Okay.
So, I mean, you can get a ton of more energy density out of, lithium chemistry than you can out of lead acid, right?
Yep. Um, Also, I do want to say, my previous co-host just popped in. Lucky's watching us tonight. Hey, Lucky, what's going on?
Okay.
Masa.
um, yeah. So for me, I have a boat, and in my boat, I run 48 volt lithium iron phosphate. For my rear battery, I run 36-volt iron phosphate for my front battery, or for my front motor. And for my stereo system, I run AGM. So my single 12-volt AGM on my system, which is for my two fish finders, and for my stereo. That's all they're for. Weighs 96 pounds.
Ooh.
That's a single AGM 12 volt. Obviously, I don't ever have any problems with voltage. I can go all day long without having any voltage issues.
Yep.
So that now the 248 volt batteries and the 136 volt battery combined weigh less than 60 pounds.
Yep.
So I mean that is a huge difference in weight, and I'm
Yeah.
supplying between the three batteries, I'm supplying 175 amp hours.
Dang.
So two of them at 50 and one of them at 75 amp hour. So and
Okay, so I have a question.
go ahead, shoot at it.
So why aren't people switching over to lithium? If there's that advantage, there's still a lot of AGM batteries on the market. Is that too hard? Do we not know the answer to
that's
that?
that's a really good question. I think there's a lot of people that are still intimidated by making the switch to lithium based off of horror stories and maybe some feedback from their peers. Bad news travels fast, right? So obviously you'll hear about
improper application would have.
Right. I mean, it's kind of an unprecedented time because you have, hundreds and hundreds of people with literally no sort of background in this that, read some information online and are deciding to build batteries out of some pretty volatile cells, right? So there's definitely going to be some failures. The majority of them will be attributed to user error, but that's neither here nor there. I think there's two major factors that are driving people not to switch to lithium. Number one being probably they're afraid of doing it, and then number two is the initial upfront cost. Now, a lot of people aren't comfortable building their own batteries, which is completely fine. There's a lot of good products on the market that address those needs, right? You literally can throw a dart and hit a company that sells 5 different types of batteries that work probably great for whatever their application is. But with that being said, the cost of these commercially available products are always going to be significantly higher than someone that has a good connection that they're getting AGMs from, or even going bigger on alternator power. Like there's a lot of different factors that people need to weigh when making a big purchase like that, right? And I think the longer people demonstrate using lithium effectively, the greater the transition rate will be. So
share with us pricing, right? So Tiffany, what's it cost? Well, Barbadian dollars are I mean, you guys pay outrageous fees.
You don't want to know.
So, so
our duties, everything. No.
yes. Just say a yellow top, right? That's a standard AGM, old school from the early 2000s, late 90s. Yellow top battery. Those run about $300 to $400 roughly, right? So about $400. That's an AGM. That's what 50 amp hours roughly, or 100. Well, they're like 110 amp hour or something like that. But I mean, they're solid batteries, and I blow them things up like crazy when I'm back in the days. So that's $300-400. Now to get a comparable lithium battery, what would the cost be?
So I guess it depends on the application, right?
So we're looking for
if we're
just a comparable apples,
right?
Similar amp hour, and something that could be used in the car audio.
So that's a good question, because amp hour of a lithium battery, amp hours are amp hours, but the difference between lithium versus, say, AGM is that lithium has a very linear discharge curve. Maybe you can see it. Very linear discharge curve as far as voltage is concerned. It's like a drill battery, right? The battery is going to work until it doesn't, right? That's kind of how lithium is. It's got a very sustained output throughout a voltage band, and once it hits that cutoff point, then it tanks. Where with an AGM, you load that thing down and it'll immediately drop to 10 volt, right, without any kind of support.
Oh.
So when you think about like comparable, you can't really equate AGM to lithium in that sense because they're not comparable batteries. Now, to have something that has a good amount of reserve that you can still demo on, or hold good voltage throughout a song or multiple songs, I would say 40 amps of a standard like 5 to 8C Life PO4, like a headway battery, like headway cells, like a 40 amp hour headway is probably equivalent to like 3 to 4 AGMs, like group 31, about 300 amp hour ish of AGM. So
Right.
when you think about like the maximum discharge of what an AGM would be versus what the maximum discharge of a lithium would be, we're talking on the order of almost 20x, right?
Right.
So it's a big
Interesting you put it
difference.
that way. So there is a savings. Yeah.
There definitely is, but there's a lot of people that also get the idea that if I spend money on lithium, then I don't have to also spend money on other things like to support that lithium, right? Like an alternator, or
Right.
upgrade wiring, or make sure that you can move that current, right? So
Right.
it's expensive. It takes power to make power, and that's in the most literal sense, right?
Mm-hmm. So that we just had the two guys from different alternator manufacturers on here, and we were talking about that exactly, right? Is when you have an alternator, you need it to charge at say 15.3 or 15.5 for a 12 volt um, bank of lithium. And not all alternators that come factory on cars will charge that high. Most of them will charge at 14.9 or 14.8
Right.
to 15, right? So your standard alternator is not quite going to be what it takes to charge that battery, right?
So it depends on the chemistry.
Right.
Life PO4, which is like the common choice for
That's the lithium iron phosphate for you people who
yes,
don't know. Yeah.
correct. So that's like the most direct swappable for a stock charging system when you move from AGM. And a lot of people even mix AGM with that chemistry battery with really good success. So, as long as you're charging above what the resting voltage of that cell is, then really you're within the, allowable charging range. And you have alternators that vary charge. You have things like electronic load detection and newer alternators and stuff that actually vary voltage within a pretty broad spectrum. So depending on what cells you choose kind of dictates what your final charging should be. And then, what you're charging at is directly correlated to what the state of charges of your battery is. So it's a pretty deep rabbit hole to go down, but
A deep rabbit hole.
if you stick with the kind of tried and true stuff like the the T.W.I.C.As and the Limitless Blue or Headways or any Life PO4, you can anywhere from like 13 to 14.8 is good. But if you're going to say EH5 or C-Max or Yinlong or Shengquan or Plan Nano or Lishan or any of the DIY type cells, right?
Okay.
You're looking at wanting to charge probably 15.3 to 16 volt, depending on the cells, in order to get the maximum amount of charge in that battery. So
Okay. So I will
Right.
go ahead, Tiffany.
No, I was saying there was a question from Chris Jenner on Facebook.
Okay,
and
hold
he
on to
was
that
asking
question
what
real
to-
quick. Hold on that question real quick. So
Okay.
I will tell you, Kyle. So this is the thing. That was one question we had about mixing the two, but if you are the great thing about the lithium though is it's actually changing the dynamics of the car audio. We just talked to Nick last week about going back to regulated power because now you can maintain your voltage with these lithium batteries.
Yep.
So that is absolutely awesome because once again the lithium, for lack of a better way of describing it, holds voltage, drops amperage, where a AGM drops voltage to maintain amperage. Those are the two main difference, right? Because you need voltage times amperage divided by impedance is your power.
Yep.
So one of them has to drop and the other one has to either go up or stay the same to maintain that same power throughout. And to me, that is what I found as the major difference in lithium versus AGM is lithium maintains voltage and drops amperage, and AGM drops voltage to maintain amperage. Does that sound pretty good?
Yeah, so a lithium battery is very similar to like a subwoofer voice coil, right? Where as it heats up, the impedance will rise,
right,
and the amount of potential power output will decrease over time.
Yep.
But yeah, that's a pretty good way of putting it.
Okay, so what was that question you found there, Tiffany? Sorry about that.
Oh, sorry. I have to find it back now. Okay. Christiana was asking what's the best sell out there right now for someone charging 15 volts plus.
Oh, don't do that to me, Chris. There's a lot of good choices out there. I will say the king of DIY will still be EH5, just because it is such a good sell. Like it's unmatched in those regards, but it's also really hard to find and it's expensive. So there's a lot of cells out there that will do the job for a lot less,
Okay. Lucky says he's building the wall on his motorcycle.
No, man. No, better not do wheelies with that, man. With the walled motorcycle.
Speaking of the OGs out here, I just want to hit real quick. Brian Nyman, he went in the hospital shortly after Christmas. For you guys that don't know, I just want to mention that he is not in a life-threatening way at the moment. He's doing okay, but he is going to be out of the scene for probably a solid month or two. If you guys are personal friends with him, I'm sure he'll be getting in contact with you. He got in contact with me today. And he just asked, hey, not to bug his parents. His parents are stressed enough as it is over at Mello's Auto Repair. Don't stress them out anymore. So they're stressed enough as it is. And his mom accidentally locked up his phone. So she tried his Apple phone. She tried his password like 5 or 6 times, and it locked it up. So,
oh no.
So he might be locked out for like 3 to 6 days or something. So, just so you guys know,
well, when you get to watch this, get well soon, Brian.
Yes. Yep. And then Josh Tate2's going through some personal stuff. If you guys know, he's got some family stuff. So whether you guys are religious or not, keep those kind of guys in your prayers. They're definitely part of our Basehead family. Big supporters of what we do at these car audio shows and here on the channel on This Week in Car Audio. Josh, a big pusher for everything happening in Reno, and Nyman obviously, single-handedly holds one of the best spots in the world to host an event right there at his parents' shop. So just wanted to throw that out there real quick.
Josh is actually watching.
Huh?
Josh is actually watching, and he just realized he asked a question too. Does lithium have a longer lifespan?
Oh,
so lithium lifespan versus AGM lifespan. Want to hit that?
So it depends on the lithium. I don't know. As far as years are concerned, it's hard to measure since people use lithium so much differently than AGM. But a standard life PO4 will have anywhere from like 4,000 to 5,000 full discharge cycles to end of life, which is usually around 80% rated capacitance. So, I mean, it can last a lot longer, but there's a lot of factors that influence that, like heat and charging voltage, stuff like that. So it's hard to, if you get 5 years out of an AGM, There's lots of lithiums that were built around there, but over 5 years ago that are still going strong. So
I will
uh,
say my lithiums inside my boat carry a 10-year unconditional warranty, right?
nice.
My AGM that's on my boat, and this is from Full Throttle, and they are a great company, great battery service, all that, carries a 2-year warranty. So that should tell you a little bit
Hey.
about the difference in the lifespan in AGM versus lithium iron phosphate. I mean, like I said, I can only speak to that one because that's the only one I'm familiar with. Um, and and uh, and like I said, so the one that's in my boat, their BMS is actually designed to make it act more like an AGM, and so it's a way slow discharging. Where car audio BMS is, dude, we want that power that quick, right? We need to relieve that power. We have so much going on inside our vehicles at such an instance, and you're playing a song and it'll drop to 20 hertz that quick, and you expect your subwoofers to respond, and in return your subwoofers expect your amp, which your amp expects your requires everything else to respond just also too, right?
Yep.
uh,
So
so
there's a second part to that.
okay.
This is the part that some people may love and others may not. So a standard life PO4 lifespan is going to be much shorter than an LTO cell's lifespan. So where those cells are typically rated between 4 to 5,000, full discharges,
Hmm.
LTOs are rated up to probably 20,000.
Dang.
So we're looking at a 4x life over, a comparable output chemistry, right?
So what's an LTO?
Lithium titanate.
Okay, yeah, I saw Chris Jenner
Yeah.
post something about
So
that.
yeah, so like
Um,
Yinlongs, Lishans, Plananos,
okay,
Shanquans, stuff like that.
okay. Bernard
Skims. Yeah.
Bernard Harewood says, "I look, my friend Tiffany. That's over there on the YouTube side."
Okay. Hey, Bernard.
Oh, it's not Bernard. It's Bernard. I can't say it like that. Um,
It is Bernard, but yeah, Trini accent.
all right. Neil
From Trinidad.
Gibson. Neil Gibson asked a question over on YouTube. Says, "So lithium will keep your amplifier rail voltage more stable?"
Um, I don't know. I guess it depends on the power supply of the amplifier, right?
Yep.
Um, I mean, I'm not an amplifier expert, but a lot of amps have more buffer capacitance to maintain higher rail, a better, less droop on rail voltages, like in
Right.
half bridge designs. But yeah, I'm not an amp expert, but lithium will definitely help you get there faster.
Definitely help you get there faster. Seeing anything else popping up there, Tiffany, as far as questions? Uh,
um,
but so well, I
I'll
got
probably scroll through and see if I
okay.
see any more.
So I got a quick question for you though, Tiffany. So do you guys even have any
Sure.
lithium cells on or lithium batteries on your islands out there?
Oh yeah, for sure. But the brand that we carry is Excess Power,
Okay.
and yeah, so we have those available here for
Okay.
sure.
So for your
Anybody that needs any, just give us a call.
so
And
retail price. I'm not talking about what you can actually sell it for. Retail price, and I'm sure you guys carry yellow tops or blue tops or something like that, right?
mhm.
Okay. So what's the difference in price on at your shop for say a yellow or blue top to an excess power lithium battery?
I was actually saying, based on what you were talking about earlier,
Hmm.
um, there's like one of those, what do you call them, like the big box stores here that
Yes.
they sell the yellow top, and the price is pretty similar. So
Oh.
that was nice to hear that the price was comparable. However, in terms of lithium, we can definitely help out. Price wise, based on what Kyle was saying earlier. I'm not comfortable saying. I think everybody on this
No,
like
just say what
stream
the
would think.
retail price is. The retail price is.
The thing is, if we want nice stuff, we have to pay for it.
Yes, I understand that. But
Retail
what's
price?
retail price
You mean from
for an excess
power?
power battery?
Say about 1,200.
Okay, so that's very similar to what it is here, isn't that right about Kyle?
Would that be Trinidad dollars or?
Yeah, but we can't
No,
equate.
I'm saying that's U.S.
Oh, U.S.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
That's U.S. Our duties are ridiculous. Yeah, taxes and everything.
Yeah, I guess it depends
And
on
Barbados dollars. Yeah.
because XS has multiple different batteries, so I guess it depends on the battery that you're pricing. But
Okay. Yeah, I like I said, I'm not familiar
Yeah.
with the XS line yet, so when we have them on, we'll talk to Scotty about some of his stuff. Um, he's a good friend of Nick's over with Incriminator Audio. They're hanging out at CES right now, as a matter of fact.
At CES, yeah, that's
Yep.
where everybody is.
No, nobody's there.
No, I must say though that's the disadvantage that we have, and I'm kind of working with the team in the Caribbean to see how we can improve logistics and costing to get those things here a lot better. But we have made progress because before you couldn't get competitive level equipment so easily. Only Trinidad, they were they're the lucky ones. But we're definitely pushing to the next level now with all the islands.
Yep. So obviously, CES isn't the place to be because I'm not there. So, because I bring the party with me. So, without me being there, yeah, it's just another place to be. So.
As soon as you put down from here, Doug, you can head on over.
No, you know what? Honestly, this is the first time I've missed CES in, I don't know, probably 18 years. Wayne Harris didn't go this year. I believe he went 31 straight years before COVID, or 30 years straight. And when COVID hit, they didn't go, and he didn't go again this year. So, CES is kind of losing its mystique as a car audio thing, and we're kind of moving all over to SEMA in October. So a lot of the manufacturers are going there that time and whatnot. So Kyle, so okay, so as if somebody were a DIY guy, where would you tell them to start?
Oh, start reading.
Yeah.
Start learning.
Well, where are they gonna read and learn? What's a good location?
There's a lot of different good DIY lithium pages. I can't really give you any, concrete examples, but if you just type in, I don't know, DIY lithium into the Facebook search bar, there's all different kinds of groups out there with thousands of people that, have built their own batteries and share information on batteries, information, load test videos, everything from, answering questions like what can this battery support to, what should I pay for these cells, to everything. So all the information that you need from, beginner to more advanced is kind of all in one place, which is nice. And also, if you're in the Sacramento area and you're looking to gain some knowledge about lithium, I'm always open to answering questions, or just kind of shoot the questions, or dialogue back and forth with people, so they could reach out to me as well.
Real quick, I want to say welcome to Sean Sean Mayo from XS Power. He's chimed in there.
Trouble.
That's trouble, huh? So
Sean, who told
he heard XS in his ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, let me log in.
Yeah. So that's awesome. What level of DIY would you say a lithium bank is, Kyle?
It varies depending on the cells. I mean, you have more beginner-friendly cells, up to some pretty gnarly, laser welded, bus cells. So you need to definitely consider what your skill level is, and your level of comfort before attempting something like that.
So I've
Okay. So
seen.
how do
Go
I
ahead.
do it without needing an extinguisher?
Well, you can buy the excess yin long. Those are really safe.
There you go.
Very safe.
Yeah. Sean, in case you didn't hear, we're still working on getting um, Scott on here. He's kind of tentatively scheduled the end of September, or sorry, the end of January, beginning of February. We'll have Scott on here. Um, Speaking of which, I will February 14th. I will be in Vegas, uh, obviously to go bowl. It's one of the biggest bowling tournaments in the country that weekend. Last year, I missed $78,000 in bowling by 14 pins. So I'm going back again this year and hoping to get that money. So, but
Is that why you didn't go to CES?
no, no, I just
Oh, okay.
wasn't. It didn't interest me this year, to be honest with you. Um, but I will have to say, so level of comfort. I've seen the lithium cells that have the bolts on top versus the lithium cells that you actually have to solder a piece on.
Yes. Yeah, that's the main difference is ease of busing. Are there commercially available, busing that you can buy for it? These things like these are things that you should consider when you're planning out to build a lithium bank. So
Okay.
there's lots of different cells out there. Some are better than others for car audio. Some of them require higher charging voltages. It really just depends on what your goals are, and then trying to meet that need with stuff that's commercially available.
Okay, so is there a charger that you recommend for people that run lithium, or just make sure you get a good alternator, or what's your suggestion?
So before you install a lithium bank, you should always charge it to whatever your alternator charging voltage is. That's going to prevent two things from happening: you having a bad time by trying to rapidly charge you know cells as fast as your alternator can charge them, which will extend the life of the cells, as well as extend the life of your alternators rectifier as well. um, so yeah, that's number one. There's two different ways you can go about it. A lot of people think that you need to buy a really expensive lithium charger. In most cases you don't. You should have a balancer that's hooked up to it, that's actively balancing and keeping balance between all your different series cells. But honestly, a regular old variable power supply is my kind of go-to. I let people borrow it all the time. You know, it's set it and charge it up and be done with it. But there are a little bit more advanced stuff out there. I do like the iCharger X6. That's one of my favorite go-tos. It will go up to, I think, 6S. Um, so you can do pretty much any type of you know lithium that we would use for car audio with it. And it also doubles as a balancer, capacity checker, all different kinds of things you can do with it. But for the average hobbyist, it's not really something that people would need. It's more people that are building banks, or trying to help people maintain their banks, that would use, right?
Tiff, did you see any questions popping up on you on the Facebook side? I'm not seeing anything on the YouTube side. Oh, did we lose Tiff? She looks frozen. I did see something here. I'll hit it up real quick. Josh T.W.I.C.A asked Kyle Erni, how much or how about running 12 volt on one alternator, 14 and up on the other? Is that an effective way to use your alternators?
Definitely. I don't see anything wrong with that. The only thing negative that I can say about that is that you have one less alternator available to power the thing that draws the most power. But a lot of guys will keep their 4 channels and stuff on the 12 volt side in their vehicle, which is probably the safer long-term way of doing things if you're actually using it as a daily driver. But that's one alternator that's not charging your big fat lithium bank.
Oh, I think she's back. Hold on a second. Let me
I'm back. Yay!
let me make the adjustment here. Oops. Switch you right here. There you go. What happened to you?
I have no idea. It's the internet gods. They're not working with me tonight.
Oh.
Okay. So Josh has been asking a question a few times.
Yep.
How about running 12 volt on one alt and 14 and up on another? Is it effective?
Yeah, he actually just answered that and said it could be very
Oh, y'all went through that while it was gone. Okay.
Yep. But yeah, so just for your
Oh, well, I got to
information,
get the answer.
it can be effective, but the problem with it is you're diminishing your ability to charge the lithium because in all reality, all of your car stuff is going to charge up to about 15.3 volts anyway, and you won't have any issues within your interior systems.
Okay.
So if you're running a 12 volt system on your lithium, it doesn't make any sense to reduce one alternator a little bit lower because you're not going to be able to use that to charge your lithium bank. Does that sound pretty accurate with the short version, Kyle?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, two separate charging systems equals two different
Problems?
yeah, yes and no. I mean, there's a lot of scare of people charging their vehicles above certain voltages, and in a lot of cases, it's not something to be concerned about if you're charging in the low to mid 15s. But there are some vehicles, maybe made by Chrysler or Jeep, things like that, that are a little bit more finicky. That don't like higher voltages. So it really just depends on the vehicle and when it was made. Older vehicles don't care. Newer vehicles are a lot more touchy.
Yep. All right. So Dave Bradshaw just chimed in, said, "Hi, Tiffany." Um,
Hey, Dave.
Real quick, Kyle. What I need for you to do is tell me. You said you think the rules for some organizations need to be updated to meet with the lithium. Can you tell me what you were talking about with there, sir?
Yeah. So
Ooh.
I think that we've hit a point now where the rules of these organizations are a little bit behind what is attainable for the average person. So when I say that, meaning like stock classes have a charging cap at 15 volt.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a charging system that is above 15 volt, either you're going to be pushed up into a super street class against people that are of a much different caliber.
Yep.
Or you're going to have to basically handicap your battery to put yourself at a disadvantage against people that have batteries that can maintain voltages, or more capacitance at that voltage, right? So I guess the first thing that I would look at is, what is the goal of that voltage cap in these classes, right? Is it it's a clamp power class, so the output of the power is what matters in those classes, right?
Yep.
So voltage is only part of that equation. The end result is wattage, right? So as long as the wattage is within the agreed upon range, I don't think there should be a voltage limit.
Preaching to the choir, my friend. Preaching to your choir.
Tell your friends, Doug. Tell your friends.
We will. Wayne actually commented in the chat earlier for all the judges that he's hoping to have something out by the end of the week and maybe make some announcements. So, all right, guys, we're running up on the hour. Like I said, I plan on getting out of here. I got some other stuff to do. Tiffany, any final words?
Fun.
Talk about your stuff real quick.
Final words, yes. We are looking for more dealers in the Caribbean to build up that network and, kind of really push competition in the Caribbean. So if anybody wants to join the team, you can feel free to reach out on Facebook or Instagram, SQ Sounds. We're in Barbados. It's been really great. It's lovely to meet you. Learned a lot tonight.
All right. Kyle, any final words? Tell us about you, how they can get a hold of you, whatnot.
Yeah, you can reach me on Facebook at Erni Audio and Electrical. I'm a small shop, but I try to be as quick as I can getting back to people. So just want to thank you, Doug, for having me on. And it's very nice to meet you, Tiffany. And I'll see you guys in the coming weeks.
All right. Hey, and real quick, Lunsford Customs said actually hit me up last weekend or last Monday or Tuesday and says, hey, he wants to start putting on a handful of shows. He wants to start sooner than later. So guys, watch this program, watch the Term Pro site. We're going to be coming up, and also Sonic FX on the DB Drag site. Watch that, or Sonic FX on the Facebook site. Watch that for upcoming shows. And remember, I go live at all my events. I'm going to be broadcasting live on YouTube and Facebook. I'm going to try and do that continuously. Going to break it down just like I did last time. Hopefully you guys can see. You liked what I did, where I showed the screen while they're doing their run, then showed the screen in between the runs, so you can see all the. You guys are a little more interactive. Anyway, real quick, if you guys want to throw me some tips for the host at Venmo at SonicFX, Cash App, $ SonicFX. As Lucky used to say, no $100 is too small. Big fans of tips. Help this thing going. I see tons of angry faces on YouTube. If you comment on the...
Thank you.
if you comment on the video itself, not during the chat, but if you comment on the video itself, it helps increase my exposure. Please like, share, do everything we can. Let's get this thing out there. I'm continually searching for another co-host. I got a couple ideas. I'm working on a couple different people to come in and be a permanent co-host. I want to thank Tiffany Perris, all the way flying in from Barbados to be with us today. Thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate you stepping in.
Doug. It's been really great. Yeah.
I hope you had a great time.
You're welcome.
Also, Mr. Kyle Erni, all the way in from Sacramento, doing his thing. Appreciate your knowledge. He actually attended the last event of the year, which was the Toys for Tots. Been a long time since I've seen you in the lanes.
Oh.
I really hope you enjoyed and had fun in the lanes.
I did.
We would like to see you back out and doing it again, obviously.
I'll be at the Lunsford Custom Show.
Awesome. Aaron Bryant. That's one guy I was trying to get on here to come and co-host with me, but I need Aaron Bryant to call me or text me with his phone number so I can talk to him. I'm just saying. We need to talk. No. It wasn't Aaron. Sorry. Aaron Bryant wasn't it. It was, who did he suggest? Hank Veach. That's who we want. We want Hank Veach on here.
That's an old school Lithium name, too.
Hank Veach?
He was one of the...
No, Hank Veach is just the master troller of all... he's the master troller of all internet.
He was the first guy building C-Max batteries.
Was he?
He was.
All
that
right.
I know of.
All right. Anyway, hey, I'm going to let you guys go. Hey, I appreciate you guys coming on today. Once again, I'd like to thank you guys for coming in. I thank you to all the people watching and supporting. Please like, share this as much as you can. Let's get this thing going. Get as many people as we can to join my YouTube so I can get to the 1,000, start monetizing some of my stuff. Anyway, we will see you guys next Monday at 6 p.m. California time, the only time that matters. Be safe. Bring one person with you to every car show, every DB Drag or other stereo competition you go to. That way we double our attendance every year. All right, guys, we are out of here, and have a good night.